Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Dudes Talking Manga. I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Andrew. Andrew, how you doing, my friend?
What up? Doing good, man. Doing real good.
It was nice seeing you a couple weeks ago. We got to do this in the same room. I know, folks, that we took an extra week off. It's just scheduling and everything else, and me starting a new job, yada yada yada, and some trips in between. But we're glad to be back. We're going to be covering Berserk Volume 31 today. But as always, I like to kind of get caught up with Andrew, talk about some of the other manga that we're reading, and just general news, I guess. So, what you been into, man?
Oh man, so manga wise, I've actually been really diving into Attack on Titan, and then Full Metal Alchemist has me in it. I love it. You said I would like it, and I know exactly what you mean. It's just that simplicity, but aggressive, I guess. I don't know. I love it. I love the art in it. It's so bright and it's different. And switching back and forth between Attack on Titan and then going into Berserk, you're like, oh my god, this is so much more rich and detailed. But I've been loving Full Metal Alchemist. But how about you? What have you been diving into?
Yeah, so I've been reading Volume 2 of Full Metal Alchemist. I have it next to my bed and kind of read it like maybe once a week because I'm not rushing to get through it. So I'm just kind of getting it through my leisure. It's a wacky manga, isn't it? It's hard to put my finger on exactly what I like so much about it. Because at first, like first half of the first volume, I was kind of like, it's all right. Like I thought it was fine. Then the end of Volume 1 really hooked me. And I'm really enjoying 2. I'm about halfway through 2, and I'm really enjoying it.
It's about where I'm at too. Dude, I don't know what, like first panel, I was like, I love this. I don't know. I'm with you. I can't put my finger on why. Maybe because it has like the old school DBZ feel.
Yeah, but I could see the humor being a hit with you.
Yes, that's it. Honestly, that's a lot of it. I love, it's just silly. And his attitude too, Ed's attitude. I love it. I'm for it. See, that was me with Attack on Titan. I felt the start of it for me was way harder, and then like about halfway through is when I really started catching the wave. And there's way more swag, so
Yeah, I mean, you got to rock the Attack on Titan gear when you got it. I see you with that Colossal Titan t-shirt.
Yeah. I thought you had it, and I was like, I had to figure out where you got that thing.
Yeah, I went from having like one anime shirt to now I have like 4 Attack on Titans. I got an off-brand Guts shirt. I'm just starting to collect them slowly.
Dude, should I hit him? Should I hit him with it or just?
Yeah, why don't you share that nice snag you found there? So Andrew found what is considered to be one of
a butte.
Yeah, one of the worst.
It's a unicorn.
Andrew said when he wears it, he looks like a can of Busted Biscuits.
It's like, I'm not wearing this one. I'm not doing that to the viewers. But you can see through it. I don't know if like you can.
Yeah, I can see your face.
What is that made of? It literally feels like I'm wearing a bag from the grocery store. It's like the same consistency.
It's just funny because I also went and got a Berserk shirt off Amazon, and it is a bag of shit. Like, it is such a crappy shirt.
That's where I got mine, and it has so many good reviews. I'm like, ooh, I love the art. And they came in, I'm like, what is this trash?
Yeah, we need you, all the people in chat are commenting after. We need you guys to recommend this place to where you can get actually like nice Berserk shirts, because Amazon ain't it.
No, it's not. It does a lot of things well, and it does a lot of things poorly. And off-brand shirts that look like you got them from like I don't know, Guatemalan flea market or something. Like, I don't know.
Shouts out to Guatemala, all my listeners out in Guatemala. Jordan says, does Andrew's Little Struggler also have his own Berserk merch?
He will.
Yeah, not yet.
He will. I haven't got him. I got him a sweater for the fall, and he's already grown out of it. So he's got to get... I'm going to wait till he levels out.
Yeah, little
growth spurt.
Yeah, little dozer, man. He's growing up. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Andrew got a French bulldog, and he was a guest appearance towards the end of our last podcast that we got to do in person. So if you want to go check that out, obviously go for it.
He's says, like almost twice the size now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can tell from the pictures he's getting big.
Yeah. And twice as little bit of a shit. But he's awesome. I love him. He's my buddy.
Yui says the climax of this arc needs to be seen in deluxe format. Yes. So someone did ask, actually, same person said, are you going to wait for deluxe volume 12? It's out on the first week of November. So I think the way that this is lining up,
Yeah.
We'll be bucking up again. Like we'll finish 11 right around the time that this comes out. So I think we're going to be good. I think we'll actually be able to finish out the year with Berserk, which is kind of cool because then, I know that there's more issues out and definitely chapters that have come out recently. We have to figure out a way to find those once we run out of physical, right? So we got to go to the internet. We got to go to the deep, dark sides of fan translations and stuff. We haven't figured out how we're going to do that yet, folks.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, after we get through Berserk, we are going to do some other stuff. Like maybe Full Metal Alchemist might be something that we end up covering. I'm currently reading Monster with my friend Sarah Reeds here on BookTube, and Monster is phenomenal. I finished the first volume. I've actually watched like 30% of the story on anime, but it got taken off YouTube, and there was no other way to watch unless I go buy the DVDs. So I bought the manga, which is excellent. Like the perfect deluxe volumes or whatever. They kind of like form like a portrait. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I bought those too. They're sitting they're still in the plastic. I tried to, because I was like, I'll find it. When you go, you're not going to find it anywhere. And it took me to some weird sites, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
couldn't find the anime anywhere.
Well, that Trill Nathan says it's not hard. Don't worry. There's literally no other way to read it since we don't get official translation for each chapter. Yeah. So we'll be in the same boat as everyone else, but we will be covering it. My plan, folks, is I would love at some point for us to be all the way caught up. And then whenever a chapter releases, us get to go live the day, that would be exciting.
That'd be awesome.
And while we're doing that, we can still be going through another manga. I think Vagabond is probably the front runner. Vinland I also love, but Vinland, we'll see.
So. Yeah, Vagabond. See. Yeah, I haven't cracked it because I kind of figured that's where we would go. I got Gantz too the other day. Looks pretty sick. I almost cracked into that one, but
it's supposed to be like hyper violent. Gantz.
Yeah. That's probably what I would like it.
I was looking at it at Books A Million, and this guy was like, "Oh," he's like, oh, "Buddy, you don't want to open that one up."
He's like dusty, like dragging his leg.
Yeah, he had a duster on,
eye patch.
I never could ever understand why someone would pick this up.
That's Ka, baby.
Isaiah says Monster is the GOAT manga in my opinion. And honestly, after reading first volume, I could see it becoming my favorite of all time. I really could. It is so good.
I'll check it out. I have it, so I just need to open it. But
I like
Full Metal Alchemist.
I like the anime that I saw. What I saw of it, it kind of reminded me of the old '90s cartoon, like '90s Spider-Man vibes. Like I like just that animation style and stuff. But
it's different. It was different.
The manga is better. The manga is better, at least in my opinion.
I feel like that's like the book reading something or watching something.
Yeah.
Anytime I've ever, I think I said this before. Anytime I've bought a Vinland, like if something goes on sale or they're running a sale somewhere at a bookstore and I snag a couple, every single time I'm either looking at it in the manga section or buy it, someone says something about it.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah, it's huge, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. I loved it.
Oh yeah, I guess we never told the the audience what happened to us after our last podcast because we haven't had a podcast since.
What do you mean?
So me and Andrew finished out the podcast where we did it in person last time, and I'm wearing my Attack on Titan. Like literally, we ended it.
Oh no, we didn't. Oh my god, no.
Yeah, got it. Guys, we say we're a little hungry from the struggle. We go get some pizza. We go to this pizza shop. There's a guy behind the desk. He's roughly 6'7".
Yeah, huge, hulking.
Humongous. Beast. Looks like he eats dumbbells for breakfast. I work out a little bit. Andrew works out a little bit, but this guy was impressive. I mean, wider than Zod. Like he was
honestly, he was
honestly, he might have been Zod. It might have been.
It could have been human personification.
So this dude is staring at us, and I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna like say something? And he's getting our pizza, and he just looks at Andrew's shirt, who had a Berserk shirt on. He goes, "Sick shirt, bro." And we're like, oh yeah, thanks. He's like, Attack on Titan's cool too, but Berserk's awesome. We're like, yeah, definitely, man. And this dude turns his head and he goes, check this out. And he has the brand Sacrifice tattooed on his neck.
It was sick too. It looked like literally like a brand.
Humongous.
It was so aggressive.
And we were like, what? They're kind of like, this is awkward, but also really, really cool. And then he goes, dude, get one on your neck. You'll never regret it.
Like, bro, I don't even know you. Because
there's super nice.
No way you'll regret it. Like, I can think of about 50 ways I'll regret it right now, and like, there's no way. Like we don't even know this dude. Yeah, you'll never regret it. Like,
Yeah.
straight. I just have a T-shirt on,
Guys.
Commitment.
The tattoo. First off, this guy's neck is the size of a tree trunk,
Yeah.
and the tattoo was like yay big, like it was the size of a softball.
I mean, it was like to his shoulder. Like it was aggressive. It was awesome though.
I was just floored, and everywhere we go, you know, and I was just telling Andrew, I'm like, every time I wear Attack on Titan shirt, someone talks to me. You know, I was in, you know, sharing something, say, hey, check out the podcast or whatever. This guy was like all in, and I was so afraid of him that we didn't even mention the podcast.
No.
Like I was like, this dude's serious.
He might like bust a wall down just to be a part of it. Like I'm on the live stream and he just bulldozes through the wall.
I mean, and then me and Andrew went and we got our brand tag. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we did. So, and here it is. And I regret it.
Already got it lasered off.
Turns out. Oh God. Yeah, we went somewhere else too, and someone said something about your Captain Levi shirt.
Yeah, like Captain Levi, and I'm like, I don't know him, but thanks.
Actually, that's not my name. It's Jimmy. But when I bought some of the, like when I bought this shirt and a couple other ones at it was a Hot Topic, and they were all about it. The girl's like, I was late for work because I was watching the anime. Like I'm like, well, I'm actually reading the manga, so
I like to stick to the source material.
Pipe down.
Yeah, so basically we just keep having run-ins with the manga / anime crowd, and it's always funny. It's always a good time. I like being a part of this community. I think it's you know, I feel like I'm starting to get my bearings. You know, everyone knows that we're first-time readers and we're idiots, but we're starting to learn just a little bit.
Just a bit. It's a hard learn.
It is. So let's jump in without further ado to volume 31 of Berserk. What'd you think?
Oh man, I must knock my mic over with that drum roll. I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones for a while. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, you texted me that it slapped, and as soon as you read it before I did, and after I read it, I said, I see why Andrew liked this so much.
I love chaos,
and it was chaotic.
Yeah, I mean, it's like back to the basics, if you will, which I enjoyed because we haven't had that for a while. Like we've been on like actual story and slower pace, not just like, oh my God, we can't get away from this terrible things happening to us. So I liked it. It was like a throwback to the old one. What about you?
I really liked it. I have a couple feelings about it. Patrick said in the chat earlier, he said thoughts on Batman Guts, which
I was gonna get to it.
We'll get to like to the point where I was like, is that a nod? Like, is Miura like a big fan? You know, I'm not sure. I like this volume a lot. The art is fantastic. I love the dynamic between Shirke and Guts. And also seeing them kind of level up, and like we get like this new mystical fighter of them both into the Berserker armor. Like all this stuff's really cool. But I will say this: I thought that some of the panels for me, because I'm dense, it took me a while to like kind of like really piece what was happening in those action scenes, just because like there's so much art on the page. So this one took me a long time to read just because I was trying to soak in all the details. Yeah,
because we know now too, like how many little details are hidden in the panels. I'm with you. And honestly, I don't know if you've ever read this in not like the greatest lighting, but if you read it in like low light and then you look at it later, you're like, holy shit, I missed so much. Like I try not to do that. Like I've done that before. I definitely couldn't do it on this one, but a couple, I forget which one it was, but a couple editions ago, I did that. And then I went back on the reread. I'm like, oh my God, I can never have this in low light because you just miss so much.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it obviously like punches you in the eyeballs when you have it in higher light too. So.
Yeah, I actually, it's funny you say that because I've never noticed that, but I actually did read this in like my dimly lit living room yesterday. It was kind of overcast, and I was like, man, I should turn on a light, but I'm too lazy to get up. So maybe that would have helped me out a little bit. And I'm not saying that the art's bad. The art's great. It's just it was very dense, So I had
it's so much.
to take my time to get through it, which was really cool.
We don't have those big epic battles like that with a bunch of monsters, which I love too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just drinking in those pages is great.
Yeah, for sure. And if there was ever like a full blown, well done anime, this would have to be one of the most epic episodes, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, with that monster army, with the huge ass I mean, so much. That battle scene on the ship, like just hitters.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious if people can help us out with the pronunciation of the general wizard for the Kushan. I think it's. I was just going to take one piece of his name and use it. I think it's Sabai or Sabah. I think. Or I'm sorry, I mispronounced it already. Daiba. Daiba is how I have it pronounced. So if that is correct, let me know down in the comments or in chat.
I thought it was actually just Parmesan Yabba Dabba is what I thought.
Jeez.
Daiba. Wrong? Daiba. Okay.
Daiba. Okay. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it. Daiba. Okay, great.
I liked him a lot. I mean,
he was epic, dude.
Yeah, he was so cool. He reminds me of that dude on Mortal Kombat with the stretchy arms. I'm talking about.
Yeah. What did you make of all the water and the bubbles and stuff like that? Like, it took me a while to kind of figure out what was happening on the page, but I love seeing the power of water, right? It's a natural power, and seeing it used for evil is startling.
So, okay, I did have one at the beginning of it that the like the water snake. I can't remember. I have it the name of
trouser snake.
Yeah, that was it. the old I haven't heard that term for so long. Yeah, that.
Moving on.
The like the whatever it was the snake that he like cast.
Yeah, it's a serpent.
Yeah, serpent. That art, I felt like at first I was like, what? This is kind of like, of all the art that we've seen and all the monsters we've seen, I was like, this is kind of not lame, but like just lackluster. And then like when you think about it more, he's water, and it actually was awesome because it almost looked iridescent. You know what I mean? Because I was like, this is such a simple serpent, but then if you think about it, it's made out of water. So then you're like, oh my god, this is like genius. Actually,
yeah, and he's doing all this without having to like channel like Shirkei does. So like there's like they're kind of like, how is he doing it? And then at the end, like we obviously see, I think it's the Kundalini. It comes out of the water, and they're like, oh shit, like this is the big thing that he's been using underneath to kind of control the waves and stuff. So
well, he even said too, like I've never had to call on this. So you're like, oh shit, what is this gonna be? And we get it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's interesting because like, especially lately, we've been jumping between like Guts and then going into the capital with Farney and same area, but like a lot of different scenes, like where we're at settings. And this one is pretty much primarily right there on the dock, right? And on the harbor on the boat.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a very focused edition, and I actually was curious like how much we would have to talk about with this, because a lot of it is spectacle and action and like we're moving forward, whereas like the last few, like you said, have kind of been setting up the story and character dynamics. Now we're going to get some of that payoff, but the Kushan ship having a cannon that was coming out of an eye at the beginning, I thought was remarkable.
Yeah, that was so cool.
One of the cooler things.
That ship, any of the Kushan stuff, I think I say it every time we talk, is just so brilliantly drawn, and I love how it looks.
Yeah,
it's so cool. And he's the only one that was on there, right? The caster.
I think so. Yes. Obviously, they had all those like goblins and stuff running from the other side, right? Because then they were burning the city. But Trill Nathan says also the serpent isn't a regular monster like an apostle. This is an entirely different magic system, which is really. This is a compelling point because, we clearly have Kanishka versus the Hawk of Light, which is Griffith, and then we have Guts somewhere in the middle of that. So now we have a three-way dance. We got a triple threat.
Yeah.
And it's starting to become even less clear who's on whose side, and then we see Kanishka offer Guts to come over to his side at the end. Of course, Guts gives him like a 80s action one-liner. Like,
those are some of my favorite.
He said something ridiculous. He said, "Here's a souvenir from hell."
Yes, that's literally my favorite line in all of it.
That was a great one-liner. There was a couple other ones in there too, though.
Such cheesebaggery. I love it so much.
Yeah, it was pretty great. The Earth or Scorched Earth. Sorry, I can't talk this morning. Panel of Shirke. Awesome.
Oh, dude, there were some awesome panels on here. Dude, another Isidro one too was when she was when Shirke was summoning the Wheel of Fire, and he's like, her crazy skills are crazy powerful. Like just what an Isidro line. There were some lines in
Isidro also had a line of "There be a big bitch."
Yeah. Yes. Like this like I said, this is like the old school. Like I couldn't put my finger on it, but that's a very good point. But it focused on all of them, and it's like, okay, we're back to the old the old crew here. They're in their element of fighting and shit talking. And how about Magnifico?
Oh yeah,
just hates to see it.
Hates to see it.
Like fully just crap at his pants like the whole time.
Jordan asks, why are you pronouncing Ganishka with the K at the start? Well, Jordan, that's because I'm a moron. And I wrote it down in my notes wrong. So that's why. I mean, we're 31 volumes in. You got to know I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Come on.
It's pronunciations are hard. So doing our best here.
Yeah, it looks like for some reason my phone auto-corrected it. Probably to an old mistype to Ganishka. So
mine will do Costco as Costco a lot of the time. And I'm like, nah. And Guts to Guys. And I'm like, I'll go back and read. I'm like, what the hell does this say? Like,
I've typed Guts so many times that it like prefers Guts over Guys now. Which I also prefer.
I was gonna say.
Did you
to say?
I'm kind of curious how you feel about Shirke as a whole in this volume. Like, what did you think?
So her, like, I thought that it was super powerful that she had to. Well, okay, let's back up a second. So it was powerful, and then it like kind of got diminished by the end when she's like, you have to like offer yourself as like basically a sacrifice to call these powers. So like right at the beginning, you're like, oh my God, this is a huge deal. But then she like just keeps continually doing it. And you're like, what's the bad part of it? You know what I mean? Like where is, I mean, we know the rules of Berserk, not, everything has a price. So I'm curious to see what that price is, because I think we're going to see it. And hopefully it's not too awful bad and she doesn't, have a fractured sense of herself or something like that, because she put so much into Guts with her being in the armor and calling all these big spells. So yeah, that worries me a bit because
Well, I think it's a really cool callback to Flora in Skull Knight. Like we're seeing the bond being formed in a parallel between that, and then also parallels within their own relationship. Kind of Shirke saying, "Hey, Guts, don't push yourself too hard," and then after Guts saying, "Shirke, don't push yourself so hard." So like there's a mutual respect and an adoration there. That I like a lot, and I'm always thinking about Skull Knight and how he plays into this, and just thinking about his passive Flora. Obviously, that comes to the forefront of my brain. I'm a little bit of fatigued of the Shirke needing protected while powering up shit.
Yeah.
Now, what the cool thing is that they started that in this volume and then kind of went away from it. Now she's actually actively inside of Guts, right? But it feels like it's a way to get the other characters something to do. And we've seen it so many times now that I did roll my eyes a little bit whenever it's like, Shirke's got to power up again. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, can we not?
Come on. Like, we get it.
Yeah. So I think that her going into the armor with Guts is probably like the next evolution. Yeah, it's the next evolution of that, because Miura's very, like, he's smart. Like, he knows he's going to burn that out. So I think it was good timing to give them some better battle dynamics. Yeah. We'll see if it continues or not. I'm very curious about that. But, I try to mention, I'm mostly praise for Berserk all the time. But this was one thing that I kind of saw and I was like, I kind of hope that we don't see this forever.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, that's funny too, because that's really, and it says a lot for the Berserk, because that's really the first time that I mean, you said anything, and really that I've noticed anything that you're like, all right, come on. Like,
Yeah.
and it'd be pretty easy to overdo stuff, I feel like, in this storyline. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, like
Yeah.
it's all like so well balanced too. Like that's what's crazy about it. So for this to be the first time and how much we read for that to happen is pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I also really enjoyed her thinking about whenever Guts called something ours, like back in the day, and like
Mm-hmm.
reminding her that she has a place to belong. And we get that really awesome panel where she's doing the Wheel of Flame, and Guts does this 180 turn where, like, I think it's like a goblin or something. It's like falling on his head, and they're like, Guts,
Yeah,
watch out. And he does a 180 and chops it in half on its descent.
so sick.
Yeah, it was probably my favorite action panel, actually, of the whole thing.
So sick.
And then the Wheel of
Oh,
Flame was just sick.
yeah, that was so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those. Yeah, we got some sweet full panel, half page panels. I felt too the one when Guts was like standing off with the Emperor. I felt like that was, I mean, that was only like a quarter of the page. I felt like that could have been an awesome full page spread.
Agreed. I actually thought about making it the thumbnail for this video, but I went
Really?
with Batman Guts instead.
God, how goofy. I mean,
I kind of loved it. I'm not gonna
really?
lie. Yeah. And it says, yeah. So I asked earlier, because Patrick had mentioned that, Batman Guts, what you guys think? And I asked if it was a nod. Trill Nathan actually says it is a nod, by the way. There was a
Oh,
picture of a Batman art book on his shelf once. He also says that 1989 Batman movie is one of his favorites.
oh.
I'm a
Okay,
big
cool.
fan of wearing your influences on your sleeve.
Yeah,
It's
that's
one of the
pretty
reasons
awesome.
why I love Stephen King and George R. R. Martin, because they also do that. So this works for me. I'm not like the biggest Batman fan in the world, but being able to recognize it and
Mhm.
still look really dope. Like I
Yeah.
think it looks really sick. To see Guts' eyes in the Berserker armor was just such a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I was glad to see more of Guts and less of the armor.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, the armor is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but we love Guts, so I love to see him.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Well, that's
like.
almost too. It's almost like half, and I think too that's showing the fact that he has more control over the armor and how much it influences him as well.
Yeah, and without Shirka, he
Well,
would
yeah,
never be able to do this because she's
exactly.
inside of the clad armor suit and she sees Guts' perception when he's using it.
That was so crazy.
Yeah, it's that this is what I love about Berserk. I love when we get into like the really weird, like kind of metaphysical stuff, like being
Mhm.
able to see someone's consciousness or whatever it might be. I always think that those are the best parts.
Mhm. Well, and two, we touched on it a little bit before. I am excited to see what all these magic systems have to do with each other,
Yeah.
or how many other ones are out there. And we talked about maybe another God hand potentially. So stuff's coming together, and I feel like shit's gonna get epic. I mean, it's been epic, but like it's gonna get real crazy, I think.
Yeah, Ganishka being involved as a third side to the equation kind
Yeah.
of throws everything into turmoil. Like I really like where we're going. I really,
Mhm.
really like where we're going. And this was a pretty fun, it was just a fun volume, like
Yeah.
tons of action, really good stuff. And then seeing the DBZ fusion of Shirke and Guts, like
Oh
I'm
my
here for
god, you're
that.
right.
I just immediately thought of like,
Yes.
yeah.
Dude used to do that all the time.
Oh, dude, yeah, we used to try to do fusion on the playground. Me and Andrew would be up on our tiptoes, just like,
Trying to go Super Saiyan.
yeah, end up with a hemorrhoid.
Hemorrhoid and shit in your pants. If I had a dime.
Now there is a very subtle panel or two in this volume. Did you see when Guts seems to accidentally hurt Farney and Casca gives him the "How dare you" look?
Oh, so I did see. Okay, I didn't catch that it was him accidentally hurting Farney. I did see Casca like looking at him like, what? Like,
Yeah,
dude.
I couldn't tell what happened with Farney. He kind of like pulled away and she was like, ow, or oh, or something. She like holds, I think she's holding her hand or she steps back and it was kind of like, oh, sorry. Like, and then Casca's like, you ever touch Farney again? Like it was, it's really one of the first times we've seen Casca have a lot of emotion since the eclipse. I mean, there's been moments, but it's one of the rare times where she has her face is just like, do it again. Like almost
Yeah.
like I'll
Yeah,
spear you.
we see, fire of her old self too. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, I don't want to say that. That's not fair. But yeah, like for her to have other emotions too. So yeah, that definitely stood out. I'm not sure what sparked that or triggered that, but I definitely noticed that.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely something like with I feel like he kind of like loses it for a second, like control, and it's just like he like moves and hurts her.
Yeah.
But Casca obviously has some pretty big feelings of resentment towards Guts, I think.
Yep.
And it just makes us always wonder because we're doing all this stuff to get to Elf Island. What is going to happen?
We're already set up for failure to hear that she's going to make her own decision. Doesn't just because she comes back doesn't mean that what you want to happen is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And
now I saw too the one. It was like another subtle panel of Shirkei and going back to that like crush, I guess, on Guts.
Did you that's when she thinks about him saying it's ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I thought it was less about the crush and more about
like
feeling together,
mutual respect, and feeling together. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're not going down that the crush route, thankfully. I don't.
Okay. Good. All right. I had a little bit of worry about that, but
no, we've been.
We'll go with your idea instead. I like it better. So
we've been assured by commenters that we don't need to worry about some awkward like preteen relationship stuff that would be distasteful. So we don't have to worry about that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was very relieved to hear that. Ganishka showing up was electrifying.
So I see what you did there. All right, I'm out of here.
I thought it was interesting that he's the arch enemy of the Hawk. Like, I feel like we need to know a little bit more about this, right? Because we haven't seen an apostle that is against the Hawk.
I know.
So what happened there? Am I forgetting some context, or are we going to be getting those juicy details down the line?
Well, I think that wasn't Griffith over near whenever he took over that town.
Well, I know that we've known that they've been like opposite sides pretty much this entire time, and now Guts is seeing it because we got some stuff that's out of Guts's purview. But I feel like we still don't know unless if it's like just basic, like I want to rule this place, he wants to rule this place, we're gonna fight over it. But it feels like there's something a little bit deeper there.
Yeah, that's I do too. Well, also we got to think too with Ganishka talking to Guts in front of everyone.
Yes.
Now Guts is gonna have to answer some questions.
Yeah, we get a lot of info dump context being thrown at our band of strugglers by Ganishka, and they're having this conversation. You can kind of tell Guts is like,
"Yeah, hey, shut up. Let's just fight. No need to quit bringing up old shit, man.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see the fallout of the band. Do you feel like this climax is going to break apart the band, or do you feel like they're going to make it through? And people who are watching, please do not tell us in the chat or the comments if we're correct. I just want to know what Andrew thinks.
I don't think so. I think it'll bring them. So I think that Magnifico is going to like turn tail and run, and I think something bad's going to happen to him. But I think that they're going to stay together. Because they almost need each other. We've came this far. I don't think this of anything is going to do it. What's your thoughts?
Well, I have a bad feeling. I don't think the band of strugglers is going to be intact after this climax, and I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I think something bad's going to happen. Serpico, like I feel like Serpico had like little moments. See, I don't necessarily think I don't trust him. I think he's going to die.
No shit.
Yeah, I get this vibe. Serpico's on the chopping block.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I got
confirm or deny that. Please do not. We'll see what happens in
See, I got the feeling that he still has some resentment towards Guts.
I think that'll probably always be there a bit, but I don't know. They resolved quite steady
scheming. Yeah, I guess they did. They had that. They hashed it out.
Yeah.
They're both adults. They can move on from it. Yeah, and then they fought together. So I guess you're right. And he did kind of, you're right. He wouldn't have done all that if he wanted Guts to die. He helped him out quite a bit in this battle. So,
yeah, and I think it goes a long way, not just with the band, but with the reader, that Guts finally, when someone accuses him of being inhumane, and being like, you're not a human. There's no way you're human. And Guts actually says verbatim, I am a human. Like, deal with it.
Like down to my bone or down to my blood or something like that. So you're like, oh, wow, okay.
And I think that Guts has seen himself as a monster. in the series, and for seeing him say, "No, I am human," is in a way an admission that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, I think. And also him claiming that maybe is some sort of self-forgiveness in some facet, whether it be tiny or not. And also for the reader to say, okay, like Guts is human. You know, there's obviously something going on here, and he's between ethereal and all this other stuff. But I don't know. I think that's a pretty big moment in the series for Guts to finally say that with his own mouth. You know.
Yeah. I would agree with that as well. The other thing too that I loved to see, because we haven't really seen Guts be in too many like battles where people like hit him with their Hail Mary and he still is standing. So that was pretty awesome when he got hit with the and when those panels of him being electrocuted,
so sick.
Oh, so dope.
So sick.
I mean, I think anytime like he's like it was when he was going through that wall of fire too, just just screaming and like all that light. You're just like, man.
Yeah, the end of this volume is the winner chicken dinner for me, because like
sure
the electrify, the electrocution and all that stuff. But Zod shows up.
Zod,
the one monster,
dude. When he showed up, I was just like, what is kill? That's why I like this, because
the Hawk is here.
Yeah.
We got ourselves a triple threat main event.
And then like out of nowhere, I forget his name already. Daba just like flies off. He's like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Daba. Well, yeah, and Ganishka wasn't very happy with him.
No, he was sure not. He's like, all right, I'm out of here. But I think too, he's gonna become way more powerful somehow.
You think we'll see him again?
Yeah, because he said so much about like all these power systems. So I'm curious to see what his deal is, where he lies, because he's on Ganishka's team. But I don't know. I could see him maybe doing something, being in the mix somehow. Maybe not. And maybe he's gonna go, because he got scolded pretty harshly. So
I did think it was funny. He was like, "Sir, Ganishka, please, would you consider?" I'm like, dude,
yeah,
you're in an apocalyptic battle in the middle of the ocean. Like, shut up,
right? Like, just go do your. I don't know. Maybe he's gonna go. Maybe he's gonna go Team Griffith. Gonna go towards the Hawk. I did kind of find it funny that them saying that there were a bunch of insects being drawn to the light. That was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it's some pretty good imagery.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Zod showing up and like getting electrocuted, and then he's falling into the ship that Guts is on, and like Guts wants to go at Zod. So like,
yeah,
I just wonder what is Guts's priority in this next volume. Probably just staying alive and getting out.
I would say so. My thoughts on that is that him and Zod are going to put their differences away, because they put their differences aside before. Not to like for any real reason, but just kind of they were both tired and they're like, we probably should continue this at a later date. But for him and Zod to go and fight Ganishka, that's what I think is going to happen. They're going to fight together just so then he can go still fight Griffith. I think that burning passion to kill Griffith is going to outshadow anything. So whatever gets him there quicker, I think it's gonna, I don't know, maybe it could go the opposite way and they both go against Zod.
I think the most compelling thing that could come into the next volume, and we'll see what happens when we read it, is the inner conflict of Guts being able to see that Griffith is within reach to get revenge against maybe getting the band of strugglers away to a safe place. I think that is like, do we continue our journey to Elf Island, get everyone safe out of here, or do you seek the revenge that is literally sitting in front of you? Will we even see Griffith there? I don't know, but that's what I think would be the most compelling to come out of volume 32. I would like to see that inner turmoil, and it'll tell us a lot about where Guts is, because that's all true. Signs point to Guts growing as a person.
But that's that's definitely, man.
It's
I didn't think about that. I just kind of like dropped that on me. That's
it's signposted. It's signposted here because we have Guts saying that he is a human. Okay, we have him telling to say, Shirke, do not push yourself too much. And then towards the end, Ganishka says, all your malice and hatred, like I see the only thing that you care about is this, so you should join me. That is what we like to see in our employees here at Ganishka's Amazon warehouse. And so like we literally see the conflict already set up out in front of us. And I think in volume 32, it'll be a lot more implicit inside of Guts' actual like inner monologue or even verbal monologue that he might end up having with other people. So I think that
it's a pretty easy no when you're fighting there. That's fair. Yeah. To say no, but man, that's
everyone is saying that volume 32 to 34 is awesome. So this is very, very exciting stuff. Yeah, we're excited.
What a ride too. And that's why anytime you crack it, you never know what you're gonna get. That's what's so exciting.
Yeah. Like, it's hard not to binge. It's really hard.
It is. Oh, dude, I wanted to so badly. Did you cheat? Did you look forward a little?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either. I wanted to so badly, but I was like, oh man, this is such a like good cliffhanger. I didn't. I really wanted to.
Jordan has a good question. It says, Jimmy, what do you think about the motivations about Ganishka in the context of what he thinks about Guts and his motivations? Well, so I think it's kind of like what I just said before with like Ganishka looking at Guts and saying you have the pure malice like for Griffith and like you could join our side. So I think he sees Guts as a tool and a former captain of like from Ganishka's side of things and his motivations, like, yeah, he should go get Guts, right? Because Guts was the captain. Like he was closer to him than anyone.
Yeah, he's a star athlete. He's just give him a run for his money. Like I would definitely. Why wouldn't you want him on your team?
Yeah, and if you think about what Guts is, right? He's someone that has survived sacrifice. Him and Casca, right? That makes them very special people in a world where it takes a lot to be special, and I think Ganishka sees that. Now, on the flip side of this, and this isn't really related to your question, Jordan, but I also always think about this. Everyone's always focused on Guts. Everyone's always talking about Guts as a survivor and all this stuff. But like Casca's just sitting here, and I feel like she's just like the hidden nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Like when or if she gains back that fire, like she also has experienced all these things that Guts has experienced. So like, how powerful could she be?
Yeah. I mean, she was led the Band of the Hawk. She is a badass.
Yeah.
So, and going through all this stuff, maybe learning, like, I mean, she might by proxy learn some magic too from Shurke. Like, there's a lot that she could offer.
There's a well of potential there. So it's interesting that like Ganishka and these folks, I mean, obviously they're seeing Guts like chop down water tyrants. Like, I mean, it's insane. Yeah. But I always just wonder, I'm like, man, why is Casca never like kind of lifted up in their eyes? So
yeah. Well, we haven't heard them say even utter the word sacrifice either. So like that was a really heavy in the earlier books, but we haven't talked about that for a while.
Yeah,
it's kind of been on the back burner because they've been on their merry little way, and that I mean they have the talismans now too. So I guess that's why, because that was I couldn't even sleep because of all the evil that was plaguing them at night.
Yeah, our little band has definitely leveled up a bit.
Yeah.
Jordan followed up and said Ganishka made a coincidental guess that Guts was a captain of the Band of the Hawk, which is true. It was just incredibly ironic because Ganishka was thinking about the current demonic version. I like that. Yeah. Not like kind of like being like Guts is just a part of that demonic version of the Band of the Hawk. So he doesn't even really understand the whole human side of it prior to the eclipse. It's really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Berserk greatness. Austin, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. And Berserk is greatness.
Sure is.
Infamy or Death says, I don't know how you don't skip ahead. I binged the entire series so quick. Honestly, it's just so we have genuine reactions here, which is what we get stuff wrong. Because like we read it once and then we jump on and we just kind of go, and so we do get some stuff wrong. But I find that us, especially me and Andrew, like we don't talk about it before we go live. It just makes it a lot. Yeah, it makes it a lot more organic. So forcing ourselves to wait has been a struggle, but we stroll on. So.
That's right. No, it is more fun that way too. I mean, I think we've texted a little about one thing, and then we both just go off to the races, and one of us is like, "All right, we gotta stop. we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it."
Yeah, that definitely happened last time. Yeah, because we were in the same room.
Yeah, we did. And like even before we went on, we wanted to start talking about like, hey, we gotta stop.
Yeah, save it for the podcast.
Save it for the people, man. Give them what they want.
Austin Syme says, I'm a huge fan of the next arc. Wonder what y'all think. Doing all right. How about you guys? Thanks for asking. We're doing great. And I loved volume 31. I'm very, very excited for this next stretch and kind of finishing out this arc. What is the next arc after this? Is it the Fantasia arc? Because right now we're in the Millennium Deluxe Falcon butt chugger. I don't know what the hell it's called. I always forget. The Millennium Falcon arc, and I believe the next one is the Fantasia arc. If someone can confirm that in the comments, that'd be great. And I'll have to change the description on the videos finally. So
Mickey Mouse is going to come out in this one.
Yeah, Fantasia is next. Yep.
Nice.
Unfortunately, Miura never finished it, but under his continuation project, it ends next month. Let's go. We're almost caught up, guys.
Oh, man.
And if this
gets you on edge, bro. I mean, I'm excited, but like, it's just
we're gonna be caught up. We're gonna be experiencing with you guys live. I just think that that's gonna be such a special thing. If this is your first time checking this out, go back and check out our journey. We've been on this journey for almost a year now, 10 or 11 months.
Man, it has. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Every time we talk about it, it feels like forever and no time at all. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a journey. What was your favorite moment from this volume?
For me, I was sitting there saying, I just liked the whole concept of just the chaos of this episode, or like this volume. I loved how, I mean, it was just more of like a roller coaster, like how it used to be. So I didn't really like hone in on one thing specifically. I did love the Ring of Fire. I thought that was awesome. Like when she called that and the battle part, but like really I just loved the whole thing. It's hard for me to just pick it out. I just liked how chaotic it was and aggressive with all of the battle. For me, I know that's not like the best, but I couldn't like pinpoint one thing.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I think my favorite part of the volume is whenever Guts accidentally hurts Farney and Casca gives him the look, because I think it's a like little panel to remind us of like where we're going and where we've come from. Yeah. And that is the underlying river that is carrying the narrative forward is Casca Guts. Like it's all based along that relationship at this point. Yeah. And all the cool stuff that's happening, like the big epic fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
It's the interpersonal conflict of heart that drives the story forward. It makes me so invested. So I think that is actually my favorite part of this volume, even though it's a very, very minute, whenever you look at everything that's happening.
That's so funny. Oh God, that's what's like so great about Berserk. It's just the levels. Like just the levels of it. Like for me, for my ape brain, I just love like the smash them up, bang them up, and then you're like the depth of the inner conflict. I like the swords and
the underriver carrying narrative flow, postmodernism. Yeah,
the one time when he put the sword through the other guy.
I mean, if you want me to pick an ape brain moment, it's definitely whenever the little Kushin dude like drops and he just turns a 180s and slices him. I thought that was like the sickest shit.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
But anything that deals with Casca, especially when she shows an emotion, is going to win moment of the issue for me.
Yeah, and it's so funny too. Like just that little subtlety. Like you could have missed it.
Yeah,
I mean, people can miss it. I mean, I'm sure we miss stuff all the time, and I miss stuff and look back and see it, and you're like, man. How good is it?
Yeah, something for everybody. Well, maybe not everybody, but, maybe not everybody. Yeah, but certainly for us, and certainly for the viewers at home. I think that will wrap up our volume 31 little reaction / review, whatever we want to call it, experience. I want to thank everyone in chat so much for coming out and checking this out live, and for the commenters after the fact. Drop me down a line, when we have questions, we love to hear answers down below. Don't spoil anything, please. Even like slight hints. Lately I have been having a couple comments that were like hinting towards things happening, and I know that it is innocent, but it does ruin a little bit of the experience whenever like it's kind of hinted at, so we'll get there, I promise. And I always appreciate the good information, Jordan, Trill, Nate, all you guys in chat. You guys are always here and always very, very helpful, and we appreciate you so much. We love the community. We love doing this.
Absolutely.
Andrew, it's always a good time.
Yeah, man. Thanks again.
Always, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Huh. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks with volume 32, which I'm sure will be a certifiable banger of a volume.
I'm stoked, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it very, very much. So I hope you all have a great day. Leave us a comment down below after the fact. Share with your friends, family, neighbors, all that good stuff. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. But until we see you then, be good, be safe. Remember to always
keep turning the page.
You're damn right.